All right, guys, I hate to be the one that says I told you so, but I mean, I kind of feel like I have to say I told you so. Now, with everything, you will have to take my commentary with a big heaping grain of salt. But I just the mixed reviews are not a good look for Stellaris, especially after Aquatics seemed to be weathering fairly well compared to Nemesis, which had a very rocky launch. And these reviews are just not so hot at all. It seems to be kind of calming down as Overlord gets patched and whatnot. It had an immediate hotfix, but I wanted to get to the developer's commentary and actually look at the reasoning, at least my theories and the confirmed problems with Overlord, and just kind of get into that very quickly before I waste any more of your guys' time. So this is just a crack shot theory, but if you'll notice, and if you've been playing since the very launch of the game, or at least near the launch of the game, like I have with the launch of Leviathans, you'll notice that even with Megacore being as buggy as it has been, it had a notoriously bad launch with Le Guin. This is almost a repeat of it with how buggy the current state of the game is in. I don't even bother playing it at this point, but it had a very buggy launch, and it had 23 dev diaries. Now, if you'll scroll up, and Overlord is an expansion by all means, it had 9 dev diaries. Now, I may be overstating things. I may be being a bit of a drama queen or a prima donna here, and trust me, I am full 100%. I will not lie to you, but Aquatics had more dev diaries, at least from what I can see, than Overlord. And if you even go to Nemesis, which had a fairly bad launch, not as bad as Le Guin in my opinion, but still a pretty bad launch, it had 22 dev diaries, not counting the hot fixes, not counting the additional follow-up patches that they always do for all of their expansions and big releases. So 9 dev diaries. I mentioned this earlier. I'm not going to harp on myself too much, but I did mention this earlier, and I think I just said like 9 dev diaries or whatever, however many it was been. It seemed like a very short amount. It seemed like the expansion itself had a lot of content, but that was very weird. Just as someone that has played the previous expansions and content packs, it felt very short and almost rushed. Now, if you do go to the massive, look at all this hotfix, this is just crazy. If you just go to these articles and whatnot, you'll see that there are just a ton of various issues that are caused by, 1, the rushed release date, and 2, a lot of the new introduced features through the DLC. But it seems like the meat of these issues stem from the AI. I've heard a plethora of things like the Great Khan bugging out and spawning randomly. I've heard things about the different relations being, you can see here with the Imperial Fiefdom and the Origins too, they're being a bit buggy. But I've just heard all of this weird stuff, specifically centered around the AI, and that has been Stellaris' big problem, AI management and whatnot with pops and lag, and that's a whole other issue, but the AI has been a big thorn in the developer's side. Just to see the AI get confounded again with this big update is kind of heartbreaking. So I really hope the devs get to the bottom of this, that they fix this. And I wanted to talk briefly on the developer's response. Paradox even released an official statement on this. That's how bad this is. So to quickly sum it up, the director, Stephen Murray, says that it's a pretty long list for a hotfix, and to be completely honest, that's my fault. In our eagerness to get Overlord out to you in the best shape possible, I approved several changes and additions at the last minute that I really shouldn't have. Some of the threads have mentioned that we have some bugs in the launch version that weren't in the pre-release streams. That's completely accurate, and by threads he just means the various discussion posts, I believe, on the Stellaris forums here. Now, of course, Paradox is no stranger by any means, unfortunately, to rushed release dates. We saw with Leviathan and EU4, we even saw with Nemesis, and kind of its half-baked features, at least with espionage, and I think with Hearts of Iron 4, I am very estranged from that game, but it seems like they had some recent complaints with Man the Guns. That's an old expansion released a while ago, but I believe they were still having some complaints about just the DLCs either taking too long and being underwhelming, or them being released way too soon and being half-baked, or underdeveloped. But with that said, it seems like this is a big problem for Paradox, and I really hope that they manage to get this under control and do a better job at quality testing with their QA team. So hopefully we kind of get to see them iron out some of these bugs, but I really have to say it is disappointing to see another release for Stellaris come out like this. I don't want to drag the video on too long, so I will be bidding adieu to all of you. But thank you again for watching, and if you like the video, leave a like, subscribe, and check out some of my other Stellaris videos like the Dev Diaries, where I break down Overlord and cover some of its most interesting features. Alright, love you guys. See you later. Peace.